AITA for bringing my baby to her sister's performance and not leaving when she cried. This has caused drama I was not expecting. I have 2 children with my ex-husband, Will, Penelope, 12F, and Johnny, 10M. A few years ago, I remarried Chris. We have a 6-month-old baby girl together, Lila. Penelope and Johnny live primarily with their father as he's closer to their school. They come to us on the weekends. Penelope is in the theater program at her school. I missed the fall shows because I was in labor and then had a newborn. Penelope understood as best a preteen girl can. Her spring show opened last week. Chris and Lila came with me. Will, Johnny and Will's wife, Ariana, were already there. Will saw I brought Lila and got a weird look about him, but Ariana hushed him and said, "Just let it go." Lila slept through the first half. A little before intermission, she awoke and was fussy. I began rocking her and trying to calm her while also watching the play. I got a few dirty looks from parents around me. I gave them a "what can you do" shrug, as it's a baby. At intermission, Will suggested Chris take Lila home. I said she should sleep during the second half and Chris said he wanted to watch the performance. Will started getting upset, but again, Ariana had him walk away. Lila did fall asleep again, but halfway through Act 2, woke up and started screaming. It was loud enough this time that it did catch the performers off guard. I quickly went into the lobby with Lila. When I tried to go back in once she calmed, the usher wouldn't let me, saying once a person leaves, they're not allowed in to prevent interruptions. Meaning, I missed Penelope's solo. Penelope refused to see me after the show nor accept the flowers we bought for her. I watched her leaving with Ariana, who was consoling her. Will met me in the parking lot. He was pissed. He said I never should have brought Lila, pointing out he and Ariana got a sitter for their young child. I said I didn't want to leave Lila and felt it was good we all supported her. After missing the fall show, I wanted to be there for my daughter. I added it was just a middle school performance. It isn't the end of the world. He gave me a disgusted look and walks away. Penelope hasn't answered my calls or text. This weekend, she refused to come over. Chris thinks we were in the right, but my parents are just as pissed and called me an ass. AITA? YTA. That was not an appropriate place to bring a baby, so you should have gotten a sitter. Lila didn't know what is going on, and certainly wasn't supporting her sister. And if you were going to insist on bringing her, Chris should have held her and been prepared to step out if she got fussy so that you didn't miss any part of Penelope's performance. You sent a loud and clear message that your new family with Chris is more important than your older children. AITA for bringing my baby to my daughter's performance and missing her solo? Quote, "There. Fixed it for you and yes YTA." YTA. 100% no one comes to a play to hear someone else's baby cry. You disrespected the efforts of the performers, disrupted the show, missed your daughter's solo, upset the other parents around you, upset the people you are meant to be co-parenting with, likely upset your own baby, etc. Why would your daughter need or want the support of an infant who obviously would have no clue what's going on? That's BS you are telling yourself. You could have come alone. You could have gotten a sitter. You put your own feelings over your daughter, the work of the performers, and the other families who you interrupted there to see their own kids. I wouldn't come over anymore if I was your daughter. What's the point? You've proven exactly who and what your priorities are. YTA. Good parents take their unruly children out of the venue to be considerate. You waited until you were a problem, instead of acting quickly. I got a few dirty looks from parents around me. I gave them a "what can you do" shrug, as it's a baby. What can you do? You should have got out of your seat and taken the baby out of the venue. YTA. First, Lila is a baby and can't support anyone. You, however, are Penelope's mother and should do whatever you can to appropriately support her, such as having the foresight to get a babysitter, or having your husband take charge of the screaming baby. Second, it's just awful that you've dismissed something so clearly important to Penelope as just a middle school performance. At 12, a solo performance is likely one of the biggest moments of her life so far. And you ruined it. YTA performances like that are so important to young girls. I don't know why Chris couldn't take her Lila home since this is your daughter's solo. It would have been best to have gotten a sitter for a couple of hours. YTA. 1. Babies don't belong at the theater ever. It is not a wedding or a family event. Babies cry and should not be there. 2. If the baby needed to be taken out, your husband, who was not the parent of one of the children in the play, should have taken the baby, not you. Frankly, the fact that he wasn't willing to stay home with the baby or take the baby home when the baby started getting fussy or be the one hold the baby so you could focus on your daughters performance or take the baby out gives me a huge amount of side-eye and makes me think he isn't willing to put in any extra effort with the baby at all. Sorry op. You clearly burned a bridge with your daughter. You should have had Chris take Lila away immediately when she started to fuss. Why did you leave when you knew it's something important to Penelope? And your dismissive attitude is hurtful. Wow, what a great way to diminish and demean a child's accomplishments. It's a good thing Penelope isn't speaking to you ATM. I can only imagine the type of no apology you'd give. Give you head a shake-up. YTA. YTA. Have you never heard of a freaking babysitter? This was a performance and not an appropriate place to bring a baby. You disrupted the event for everyone else in the audience, and still managed to let your daughter down. You sound incredibly self-absorbed and like you put your feelings and your new family over your daughter. I'm glad she at least has her dad to truly support her. Yes. YTA. You disturbed the whole show. You could have taken your baby outside. You could have gotten up and simply walked to the back of the room. Your husband could have taken the baby out, etc. You had many options and didn't do anything to alleviate the situation. YTA. That is so inconsiderate. I can't believe you're even asking. YTA. But props to Ariana for being a great partner and stepmother. She saw your ex getting upset and intervened several times, giving you a chance to right your wrong. And you didn't even when directly confronted, and she comforted your daughter got your mistake. Also, she put her stepdaughter's performance first and they got a sitter. She sounds great. YTA. You should have left the baby with a babysitter. You not only missed your daughter's solo but also disrupted the event for all the other attendees. You could have had your new husband take the baby out, but no, he had to watch the show too. You were way too selfish and only thought about what was best for you. I'm glad Penelope's dad and stepmom were there for her to console her. YTA. It was just a middle school performance. It wasn't just a middle school performance to your daughter. Penelope refused to see me after the show. Penelope hasn't answered my calls or text. Think about what your actions have done to your daughter and why she doesn't want to see or speak to you. Actions have consequences. You messed up big time op. You showed your daughter that she is not as important as Lila. YTA. The baby was disturbing others. You should have left at intermission or sat outside. Or just got a babysitter for an infant instead of disturbing others. YTA and Chris should have walked out with the crying baby. It's a middle school show with a solo after you repeatedly showed Penelope you don't care about her. And ruined it for a bunch of other parents and kids. I hope you learn from this before you ruin your relationship with your son so you can salvage at least one. I wouldn't be shocked if Penelope wants nothing to do with you or your Doover baby. YTA, I don't see why Chris had to be there and couldn't stay home and watch your new baby. Good job making your children think you like their new sibling better than them, which it sounds like you do. YTA for everything everyone else has listed. But I want to point out that your headline is also shit because you make it sound like you're not even Penelope's mother. Her sister's performance? How about your older daughter's performance? You really are a piece of work. YTA. And good luck getting Penelope to come over again. You owe her a huge apology. Not only for being rude and not taking your baby out at the appropriate time, but for minimizing her event. It's only a middle school performance. To her it was a really big deal and you should have treated it that way. Chris should have taken the baby out at intermission or stayed home with her. It's not all about you two. YTA. Your baby would have been fine at home with a babysitter. Or having your husband take her outside as soon as she started to fuss. But your 12-year-old was well aware of her mom being the one who disrupted the show and missing her solo. It's not just a middle school performance for these kids. It's a huge deal. They've worked hard on this. They wanted to do a great job. And you messed that up for them.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. AmITheAsshole is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.